Okay, so let me just send you like one of the links with a fake screenshot that they got, which was made before my account was created, actually.
Oh, that's weird as shit.
And this is like me. They also made like fake Discord chat logs. It's one person actually. There was like an old Kiwi Farms thread that like some person created an account on the same day, did like a thread on me with fake shit, fake grooming allegations and stuff. And I ignored it because like even Kiwi Farms was like, oh, this is obviously fake and gay and should be locked. And now some I think Groypers, Final Fantasy people that are pissed off, I don't know how, are just like spreading this, and it went like semi-viral, got like I think like 160,000 views.
Okay,
and
so it's
I
love children. I have a lot of videos of them doing thing. Mega Menengs, Megaflies, Gooner, Gooning, Discord leaks, Discord files, DMs. That's not even how you fucking talk.
The thing is, like, apparently these are like tags that these freaks are using in order to find this shit. So it kind of like tells me a lot about the person who faked the screenshots, because like how would you know what they are looking for unless you know that this is like the method, right?
Yeah.
Also,
like,
it was meant on like May 25th, 2023. My account was made on August 2023, and I have to show you this because it's so fucking funny. On this, I made like one tweet, like one fake tweet, to like prove how easy it is, with the White House basically saying that like, oh fuck Nyara, right?
Mm.
And this person was like, question, if you truly didn't have an account before 2023, then why are you talking like this? Significantly older post is about you. Because I changed the date to like 1999. I don't think they're sending their best.
I feel like... Wait, hold on. So, why are you acting like this post is about you? I feel like the fact that they were the ones who were posting with your face and handle is enough of a reason to do that, right? Like, I feel like that's the easiest thing to just... When somebody says this shit, it's the same thing as when people go, if you don't think gay is insulting, then why do you treat it as an insult when I call everything gay? And it's just like, well, I know you're not meaning it as a compliment, and I know you're meaning it as an insult, and the way language fucking works is you and I together come to a common understanding about the words we're saying. I'm not saying I find it insulting. I'm saying you're using it as an insult for a reason. And there's two types of people who do that. There's the people who grew up with gay being an insult and then grew out of that and then reverted back to it as a sense of irony. Like, they know for a fact they don't mean it that way. Their circle of friends know for a fact they don't mean it that way. And then there's the people who just truly, unironically, never fucking grew out of it in the first place. Where they're just like, no, I use gay as an insult, and also at the same time, if somebody were to call me gay, I'd be very insulted. Like, yeah, no, these two types of people are not the same.
And, yeah, so they've been, like, spreading this shit, and it's obviously, like, very fake, and, it's kind of crazy, like, how much it's being, like, amplified and boosted by the people who, like, desperately want me to be, like, this evil person that they are making out, that they're making me out to be. That they just, like, take the most fakest and weirdest things at face value and don't challenge it at all. I even have, like, I got, like, the Dragon Tea company guy being like, I hope you feel unsafe from all of this because you deserve so much worse.
Wait, hold on. First of all, I'm not familiar with the Dragon's Tea company.
That is like it's like a dropshipper dude who partners with a lot of people who are like, right wingers, and the guy is like transphobic and pushing this culture war shit in order to like sell his awful dropship tea.
Okay.
Because he blames the woke for, starting a cancel campaign on him and getting him pulled off the shelves or shit like that. So we got it.
Can I just say, before I even look at the post, I mean, looking at the post right now where he goes, love to see it, it's amazing how people who accuse you of being a pedo end up being the type of people who end up not just being one themselves, but also selling CP. Nyara, I hope you feel unsafe from all this because you deserve so much worse. First of all, if anybody says, I hope you feel unsafe, they're a deeply unserious person who likely should not be on the internet. Secondly, I'm just going to say right now, whenever I see somebody's Twitter account and it's just filled with AI-generated garbage slop, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do the whole, this isn't a good look, my guy, because I feel like that's a thing that you only do when you're 15 years old and you just discovered what hypocrisy is and you just discovered, like, what it looks like to be a person in the greater scheme of society. But instead, I'll say, I don't see myself taking anyone seriously with a banner filled with AI-generated anime girls. Like, what kind of a person likes women as soullessly generated objects? And if you can conceive of that kind of person, that's not a person you take seriously. That's a person you make fun of. Also, Pokemon Pickles, thank you for the follow.
I mean, that's just like the thing. Like, most of the people who are coming after me and like amplifying it and boosting it are people who like seriously stalked me for a really long time and harassed me for a really long time, and they obsess over my genitalia. I can show you I think how I kind of got on the radar of like the Final Fantasy people. I can show you the tweet because it's fucking vile. So this is like some dude responding to like some Final Fantasy dude responding to a tweet of me being like, oh, TikTok banned me and they want to see my face to like check my age and whatnot. And this is like pretty dangerous. Mm-hmm. And they replied with, TikTok banned you because they want to see your Adam's apple and your dick. Your face is just further evidence that you're a dick haver and that you will never be a woman. Germany isn't safe from quote-unquote proof to the AI that you're a woman. I was like, they have to like always talk about my dick. Even if I don't have one, but, it doesn't matter.
Also, Jesus Christ, I'm looking at their channel. There's a couple things that I want to note. A response to an arsler. Okay, I can only think of a handful of people who positively respond to that kind of messaging. See here, why are so many quitting Magic the Gathering and the death of MTG? I'm kind of curious to click on this video, because, like, by the numbers, Magic the Gathering's in a better spot now than it ever has been in terms of amount of people playing the game and amount of interest in it and clicks on Google and like all of the like soulless marketing metrics that you just don't give a shit about. Technically, by those metrics, Magic the Gathering is not dying, it's doing better than it ever did. But then I see this post here, a treatise on normies and who they are and what to do about them. I know I'm judging a book by its cover, because I'm not actually looking at the content of any of these videos right now. But I feel like there's something deeply condescending and like, what's the word for it? When somebody is in a fandom and they really don't want anybody else who is not like deeply into the fandom to ever enter into the fandom. Like they're not...
like gatekeeping?
So gatekeeping is the word that I lean on, but I don't know if that's the word like, I'm looking for.
What is it? It's not necessarily purity testing. It's just like...
But all of those words kind of sort of get to the idea.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you gotta, like, you're interested in these things just like me. So name all of...
so name all of the things.
Yeah, name all of the things.
I don't know. Maybe we'll
By the way, it's really cursed.
Before I go on my I told you.
Yeah, maybe... I'm going to go ahead and click on this video and queue it up. I think we're going to watch it later today. Unless you want to watch it with me now. Because this seems...
We can do a watch along, sure.
So, like, I feel like there's going to be some points here I agree with, and then I think my prediction is the video will then go off the rails into areas that I just do not get.
So gloating party. Let's take a quick look at what's going on in Magic the Gathering that's got so many people saying the game is not the same anymore and that they are finally quitting.
Hold on. The game's been out for 30 years. If the game was the same, then that would be not great. I don't know if you remember playing Magic the Gathering in alpha, anybody who may be old in my chat, but that game was also not a good game.
just for the people to know who this guy is, who is posting this video, he is accusing me of being like a pedophile groomer, but he partnered with an actual pedophile who posted messages about molesting a 6-year-old when they were 15. Just so you know, this guy partners with actual pedos and groomers if they align with right-wing ideology.
Yay!
And turn around and harass me and threaten me using like fake screenshots in order to like push this agenda and narrative. Just so you know what we are like about to enter.
Reason comes down to one major problem: universes beyond. Let me explain the basic premise of Magic the Gathering for those who are unfamiliar, so you can better understand the problem of this incentive. In the story of Magic the Gathering, or MTG for short, the basic theme is that you are what is known as a planeswalker, basically an ultra-powerful magical being that can cross through to other dimensions. There are other characters who are also planeswalkers, and they have their own backstory, motivations, universe-destroying enemies that need to be defeated. It's all nice and fun. There is, in theory, an infinite amount of these different planes that exist for planeswalkers to visit. But even so, there is something of a coherent story arc that takes place within each of those planes. And those story arcs usually serve the overarching narrative of the universe, and those that seek to destroy or otherwise control it. So despite the nature of infinity existing within this story, there is still a contained, coherent structure no matter where you go. The plane of Innistrad is a gothic horror theme, where angels and monsters roam the land. Theros is a Greek mythology inspired, where gods are in charge, and heroes roam the lands. Kamigawa is Japanese inspired, and centered around the war between man and spirits. There's universe-eating, H.P. Lovecraft-inspired horrors known as Eldrazi, machine-inspired creatures from Phyrexia, and all sorts of notably different themes throughout many different planes. But, despite how different the themes of the planes are, they follow a certain focal point, a narrative within a narrative, and it all goes together. Any new region that gets introduced must fit within the original theme and flow of everything that's taken place in the last 30 years of this game. You know what wouldn't fit into all of this? Real stories from our reality. Cards from things like The Walking Dead and SpongeBob.
Okay, so I have to interrupt here already, because while on the surface I agree that those would not fit in, they only really would be a problem, like a major problem, if there was an active attempt to integrate them into the story. The fact that Magic has a coherent story, with books and bits of lore and all kinds of shit, and comics, the fact that that exists is only undermined by SpongeBob and the Transformers if SpongeBob and the Transformers have an active part in the actual story of the game. But they don't. At no point has any of those crossovers entered into Magic the Gathering's greater story. So, or just even in like mini areas, it just doesn't happen. So this point just seems to be a collab happened with my game and I am upset. And
Is that on the same level as getting mad at Fortnite for having like Hatsune Miku and Ninja and whatnot in the universe? Is that like the level of I'm angry?
So the comparisons to Fortnite are, I get it, and I've even made the same comparisons myself, but it's not exactly the same. So like with Fortnite
or like Final Fantasy then, like Final Fantasy, like it's having a collab with like Monster Hunter and whatnot.
It's closer to Final Fantasies, because like with Fortnite, when the characters get introduced into Fortnite, they are always introduced into the story itself. So like when Rick and Morty did a collaboration with Fortnite, they actually had a reality is collapsing in on itself event that Rick needed to help solve. When the first Avengers collab happened, they had Galactus enter and like threaten the island that the players were in, and Galactus would slowly encroach on the island, and it culminated in a giant story event where Tony Stark fitted up all of the battle buses to self-destruct onto Galactus to get him away from the Fortnite island. So like with Fortnite, they actually directly integrate all of their collabs, for the most part, into the story itself. That isn't what happens with Magic. With Magic, we just get a couple of cards that have mechanics that have pictures of other characters in them.
So they made like a SpongeBob card in Magic the Gathering, and you can play SpongeBob.
Yes, that when they made SpongeBob in Magic the Gathering, they just reskinned Jodah the Unifier, and it didn't change Jodah's story at all. Jodah's story still seems to be locked over on Dominaria. We haven't heard jack fucking shit from him for like 2 years. But
so it's just like a skin on an already existing like character and card and whatnot.
For SpongeBob, it was. So like it depends on the collab. So for some collabs, they reskin old cards. So for SpongeBob, they reskinned like Counterspell to be the meme where SpongeBob is like speaking in Comic Sans at you. They reskinned SpongeBob, or they reskinned Jodah the Unifier to be SpongeBob, but for the Sonic the Hedgehog collab, they gave us Sonic, Eggman, Amy, Knuckles, and Tails as actual cards with their own unique mechanics based on what they did in the game. So like if you hit Sonic, treasures pop out of them like rings as an effect for the game. So it depends on the collab. The recent Spider-Man collab and the Final Fantasy collabs have been full-on sets where the majority of the cards have been their own unique cards. Like there is no card that works like Tifa does in Magic the Gathering, but Tifa has her own effect. Helios is so
they aren't like introduced in the storyline.
No, they're never
introduced. Just playable cards.
Yeah, they're never introduced into the storyline. They're just playable cards. So like if you're there's a word for it called Vorthos. Vorthos is somebody who cares about the MTG lore. If you're a Magic the Gathering Vorthos, then the Universes Beyond stuff doesn't affect the part of the game that you like. It only affects the frequency at which you get it. Because the Universes Beyond stuff does mean that we don't get main series Magic sets as often, and that does kind of suck, but it doesn't affect the story at all.
Okay, so okay, I have like a question, and I feel like such a basic white girl to ask this, but
okay.
Why does it matter?
So there are a couple of reasons why it does matter to the Magic community, and I can get behind them and then I can get against them. So reason why it matters in the positive, it brings more people into the game. There are people who came into Magic because of Sonic. There are people who came into Magic because of Final Fantasy, who otherwise wouldn't have touched the game, but like aspects of other games they enjoyed came into the game, and so suddenly they're playing the game. And more people being able to play Magic is a good thing for people who like playing Magic.
I can see that.
On the opposite side of that, though, there is a problem with Universes Beyond, and it's with how the licensing works. So, Universes Beyond sets cost more money for players, and the excuse that Wizards has effectively is that we're having to pay the licensing fee for them, and I don't agree with that. I think the price of a booster pack...
so they just want more profit, basically?
Yes. So that's one issue. Another issue is when you do...
It's like making the Happy Meal more expensive, depending on what type of toy is inside.
Exactly. Another problem that we're running into right now is that with the way the licensing works, there are some times where cards will not make it across all the different ways of playing Magic the Gathering because of the licensing. For instance, with the Spider-Man set, in paper, when you buy a box of Spider-Man, you get Spider-Man cards. But if you're playing on Magic the Gathering Arena, the online client, they don't have a license to produce the cards digitally. So none of the Spider-Man cards are available to play on the client. Instead, they reskinned them all into Magic the Gathering characters. And I like that approach, but I kind of, I would like us to be able to play with all of our cards across all the ways to play Magic. I'd like there to be a consistency there. But the other problem from a mechanic standpoint that we've ran into is that Wizards of the Coast as a company, when they're doing these collaborations, they do want the cards to sell well. And when you want a card to sell well, you might inflate what the card's effect does in order to incentivize people to buy it. So right now, Standard, which is the 60-card 1v1 format for Magic the Gathering, is currently taken over entirely by VV from Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX VV has basically destroyed that format and turned it into a format where you're either playing VV or you're playing cards to stop VV, and there is no in between. You simply do not function in that format without accounting for VV 100% of the time. And that's a problem because standard sets are supposed to be not the most powerful things out there so as to avoid power creep skyrocketing to the nines, but Universes Beyond sets are seeing more power crept cards because it makes them sell better. And that's a problem for the player base. The other issue that we're running into from the licensing, a lot of it just stems from the licensing, is that some cards that players really need access to for certain decks that are otherwise inexpensive become super expensive after a year or two, because when the license for printing them runs out, Wizards can't reprint those cards anymore. So for instance, we did a collaboration with Warhammer. A lot of the cards in the Warhammer decks were really good and really cheap, like 50 cents. The 50-cent cards from Warhammer from 2 years ago are now $8 to $10 each because they are not in circulation. And that's not a thing that you usually see in a card game. Usually cards don't leave circulation after a handful of years. Usually it takes a lot longer than that.
Do they get like rebalanced?
No, cards can never be rebalanced in Magic the Gathering. That is a thing that Magic the Gathering specifically will never do for the paper game.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because they would have to like reprint the cards.
Yeah, so like Yu-Gi-Oh does that, and when Yu-Gi-Oh rebalances cards, we get this like area of the Yu-Gi-Oh wiki called erratas, where we get to see every version of every card that has ever been redone over the years, and it's a goddamn mess. It is an absolute mess. Yeah.
I guess that's the problem.
Jassa
with
says I pulled a
with the paper.
I pulled a second end stone. What should I do with it? Jassa, go play Modern and put it in Tron. That's what you do. Go learn how to play Modern, Jassa. That's what you do with your second end stone. Callum says the erratas are so confusing. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh erratas get really dumb, especially because Yu-Gi-Oh has a format called Time Wizard, where you time lock yourself to a particular era of the game and the particular printing of the card that existed in that exact era of the game. So now you've got to go look at a goddamn database to figure out what your cards do despite having the card in your hand. Yu-Gi-Oh's a mess. I want to like Yu-Gi-Oh more, but it is a mess of a game.
SquarePants.
I only know
You think I'm
Hearthstone.
joking?
You only what?
I only know Hearthstone as a card game.
I mean, Hearthstone's fun.
Yeah. I like the Battlegrounds mode that they have because I don't need to buy cards and I can just like goof around. I heard it's basically like TFT.
I haven't... wait, TFT is an auto chess game.
Yeah, like the Battlegrounds mode in Hearthstone.
It's auto chess?
Basically, yeah. Like you have like a round where you pick your cards and build your set and then you fight like the enemies. So it's like it's on a similar level.
Interesting. I'll have to give
Like that mode.
I'll have to give that a shot because I've not done that yet. I only recently re-downloaded Hearthstone.
It's pretty good, actually. I like the Battlegrounds mode a lot.
Joking, don't you? That's what Universes Beyond is in Magic the Gathering. They take some existing IP, such as Spider-Man, Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed, Lord of the Rings, or SpongeBob, and shoehorn it into the game. The only people who enjoy this immersion breaking are the same people who come all over themselves when they decided to make everyone black for no.
This just feels like condescending nonsense. Like,
yeah, it's like if you enjoy this, if you're not like a true fan and you're actually not worthy of calling
like how dare you
being in this fandom.
How dare you enjoy fun? Like, I'm sorry, again, as somebody who not only likes Magic the Gathering, but has liked it for years, and it is part of my job to play Magic the Gathering. I have a Magic channel which pays for a significant amount of me existing. So it is quite literally my job to care about this game in some way, shape, or form. And even I do not want Universes Beyond in this game because I like Magic the Gathering as Magic the Gathering. But since it's here, and we have to wrestle with the fact that it's here, I'm not gonna get angry at somebody for liking it. Two of the people who I play with regularly now, one of them got into Magic only because of Warhammer, and one of them got into Magic only because of the Sonic the Hedgehog collaboration. We literally met at a Sonic the Hedgehog convention, and they went, holy shit, that's coming to Magic? I guess I'm learning Magic now. And that happens pretty fucking frequently in the game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it also happens with Fortnite. I remember I got into Fortnite because my friends were playing Fortnite, but my friends only ever got into Fortnite because the Spider-Man collab happened in Fortnite, and they were able to web swing. And that was like the thing that really made them happy in Fortnite, was learning that they could web swing around the cities. Sylvia says, how dare you enjoy the rest of the card game that brings more people into the folds despite not being in canon? Exactly. Like there are people who I know are not going to give a shit about the Magic the Gathering story the way I've done in the past. Because they're coming in with new sets, but like there were people who played Magic when it was just Magic the Gathering IP who didn't care about the story then either. So like, what changed?
No reason other than to appeal to modern audiences. It is a prime example as to just how important gatekeeping is, both in terms of
how important gatekeeping is. How is gatekeeping important? What?
We can't have people diluting the fandom by enjoying something that I don't like.
My God, it's just Star Wars fans. It's just Star Wars fans all over again. And the only movie that's good is Empire Strikes Back. Well, then do you fucking like this franchise at all?
It's like it's crazy how like I feel like the same way like the anime community treats people who are like, oh, I enjoy this anime, but they're not like heavily invested in the like into the show. They're just like casually watching, and it's like you're just consuming something that in a way that I don't like.
Yeah, there's some
so
people
you need
who do that.
We need to ruin your experience to get you out of this. It's crazy.
It's so weird to me. Like, okay, you can criticize the game for doing things that you do not like, but I think criticizing the players for liking it is really dumb. Your problem, like, here's the thing. The Dragon's Treasure and me have the same enemy here. The enemy is capitalism. Capitalism wants profit at all costs, and profit at all costs almost always means collaborating with bigger IPs. It means VTubers collaborating with other VTubers. Weird. I don't know how we got here. That's so strange. Also, there's a tiny Nyara now.
Yeah. There you go.
Keeping bad people outside, and in terms of controlling bad actors already within your gates. When this was initially launched in 2021, they said that these cards
the guy who's
would not be
sponsoring pedos, actually.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, bad people.
You know, just so we know, like, bad people are the ones who are enjoying something in a way that he doesn't like, but bad people aren't, you know, like the pedo VTuber that was exposed as a pedo.
Exactly.
Like he can sponsor that dude. And if you say something, then you're cancel culture.
Legal, but only in eternal formats. To try and explain what this means for people who don't know what those mean, think of standard as like the official tournament format that Wizards of the Coast builds their sets around, with rotating cards every year or so. I don't know exactly how the format looks nowadays because I stopped playing many years ago and they keep changing the rules to it. Eternal formats are more casual and fun focused, like the other popular Commander formats. So the initial message to any person who would be showing concern was boring and cliche. What are you worried about, bro? They're just for fun. What, are you against fun now? They don't matter in the Magic universe, bro. Just let it go. Let's take a guess, gang, at what happened next. Actually, before that, on the theme of fun, which is almost exclusively what I played outside of drafts when a new set came out, I still wouldn't want this. There is a line between having fun and being a mindless consumer. I still wanted to be immersed as I was having fun. In the Yakuza video games, despite there being some serious themes to it, you can still end up fighting a bunch of grown men in diapers. It's silly and it's stupid, but it fits within parts of the theme of the games. If you were to try the same thing in Dark Souls, it would not work in any way and would be immersion breaking.
Why not?
So
why not?
Well, no, it probably wouldn't. You would have to actually change the aesthetic of the thing a little bit. Like, it's gonna come down to execution. Anything can work if executed right, but he's not here to give a reason why not, so I'm not gonna press him on why not. There's nothing there. But I will say this is a cogent point in the world where the characters that are being brought in universes beyond do anything in regards to Magic the Gathering's story, but they don't. So it doesn't matter We don't need to worry about how they mesh into Magic the Gathering's world, because Magic the Gathering's world is unaffected at present by Universes Beyond. Again, I do not want Universes Beyond in Magic, but these are not cogent points.
I mean, it's just like, why doesn't this thing cater towards me, and why are other people enjoying the things that don't appeal to me?
Yeah, like it's frustrating.
And we need to, as an authority on Magic the Gathering, we need to gatekeep Magic the Gathering and remove the people who enjoy the things that don't appeal to me. But if you are saying that like I'm evil and I need to be kept out of it, then I'm going to scream cancel culture and I'm going to harass you for it. That is like the type of person this guy is.
Yeah, just listening to his point. If I were to make a world with Universes Beyond that does not have the problems I currently have with it, for one, the licensing for Universes Beyond would allow Magic the Gathering sets to print them as much as they want. I would also prefer us to get the Universes Within cards that Wizards themselves said that we would be getting. So Wizards, once upon a time, when the Walking Dead Secret Lair came out, they said that they would print Universes Within cards of cards. So if a mechanically unique card was made for Universes Beyond, they would then print a Magic the Gathering styled version of the card later so that we would be able to have the card in print and playable. And players who didn't want the IP could still play with that card without playing with whatever IP the card was attached to. And I liked that system. The problem is that they never made good on that. They gave us the Stranger Things cards, and they gave us the Street Fighter cards, and they gave us the, you are cuddling. And what was it?
Are you talking to me?
What's up? Yes.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I am.
What do you mean I'm cuddling? Oh, am I too close?
When you leaned over there and you closed your eyes, I'm just like, you're cuddling. And now you're smelling my hair. Does it smell like grape?
It smells like grape.
Weird. Because I used strawberry shampoo. That means you're having a stroke.
I mean, I just assumed that it's because of the color of your hair, actually.
Fair.
I think it's jelly.
Well, and now I have 5% less of my hair.
Just because something silly works.
Wait.
Yeah?
This is the best faked screenshot that I've seen so far. Chad, I have to tell you something.
Nyara has invoked the dark magics.
I got it. It says, I did 9/11:3, and the replies are gay. The retweets are trans rights, the likes are bottom, and the bookmark says cat girl. This is 100% real.
Jesus.
It only got 69,420 views. God damn it. It fell off.
You know what else?
Fell off.
You know what else fell off?
Hmm?
Well, it was 9/11, so
Okay.
the people from the buildings.
What's the video, Suris? Press play.
Doesn't mean it'll
The
work in
femboy
another
fell
video
off. Are you calling me
Even
a
as I'm having
femboy?
fun playing MTG, I want to be hit with counterspell cast by a mage, or have some calamitous event wipe out my entire board. I don't want SpongeBob SquarePants to do any of those things.
Okay, but why did you not use the actual counterspell with this exact image? The SpongeBob SquarePants counterspell is the SpongeBob collab.
Anyway, back to guessing what happened.
Wait,
next.
it's not even
They
the
recently
card?
announced the going
Yeah, the card that he shows up there isn't even the actual card that they turned into the secret lair.
back on the promise to keep the new cards only in eternal formats. Now, these universe-destroying, immersion-breaking themes are going to be part of the main focus of the game, and during a future rotation in 2025, half of the legal cards and sets will be from an IP that is not Magic the Gathering. I don't know what you would call a Green Goblin taking on a Patrick Star, but it is not MTG, and so many longtime fans are jumping ship because
Fun fact, Green Goblin taking on Patrick Star won't be happening in Standard because the Patrick Star card is not in Standard, but you would know that if you cared. Anyway,
as you let these others into your ecosystem, and it ultimately destroyed it. Here's where I can do my I told you so dance. A year and a half ago, I did a video talking about the multiverses problem, and how you need to have strict, set boundaries as to what is your IP and what it is not.
Smarter than
because
everybody.
if you continue to erode your IP by putting in scenarios that don't apply to it, it will lose its identity, and it will lose what made it special. This is why I fundamentally hate the game Fortnite, because that's all it does. It takes existing characters that are part of your child.
This is
No way!
we're back to
He's
Fortnite.
actually using that. He's actually using that as an example.
It's weird.
Oh no!
I can understand disliking Fortnite as a video game, but like Fortnite's
For the characters?
Fortnite's identity has become two things: Jonesy and every other fucking character that's coming to Fortnite. Like that's just what Fortnite is now in general. Again,
Yeah.
it introduces the other characters into it. There was a comparison that I saw for Universes Beyond, and I don't know if I entirely agree with this comparison, but it was there's two types of people. The people who hate Universes Beyond and compare it to Fortnite, and then there's the people who love Universes Beyond and compare it to Super Smash Bros. And I think I know what the difference there is. Fortnite is a game that did not begin as a collaboration machine. It began as its own survival game that turned into a battle royale, that turned into the IP machine that it is now. Smash Brothers began as an IP machine. It was an IP crossover. That is its identity. Magic the Gathering is kind of somewhere between these things, where its identity is not the crossover, but at the same time, a lot of people are coming into the game feeling like that's the case.
I mean, with Fortnite, it's also like there are just a few collabs that actually change like some mechanics of the mode. Like I know like the Marvel one where you have like Thanos, so it can be like Iron Man or whatnot. But like in general, it doesn't really change much if you have like the Goku skin or Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, like the most that you'll get is like, say when Dragon Ball Z was doing its collab, or Dragon Ball was doing its collab with Fortnite, yeah, the skins were in the game, but also the Flying Nimbus and the Kamehameha Wave were in the game. The Kamehameha Wave was a weapon, it had 3 charges, it did a lot of damage, and the Flying Nimbus was a method of getting around the map faster. But those are all temporary. Every time we get those collaborations, they're temporary. Like right now, the big collab is Power Rangers. So
Yeah.
near the end of a match, or like halfway through a match, the Megazord will spawn, and a player can get the Megazord and then use the Megazord to try to eliminate as many players on the map as they can, and it becomes a free-for-all where all the players on the map are now attempting to fight the Megazord instead. And you know what? As something that's super temporary and will only be in the game for a month or two, I'm okay with that. Fine, give me my silly little dumb shit, and then it'll leave the game. And I have my memory of the silly little dumb shit.
The thing with Fortnite is also like it is very repetitious.
Repetitive?
I can't speak. Repetitive. Thank you.
If we repeat trying over and over again, we'll get to it.
Yeah, maybe one day. Okay, it's pretty like. It's the same mode over and over again. It's basically like imagine having like Overwatch and you just like have like the same mode over and over again. Back then when they were like actually interested in keeping the game alive, they had like the arcade modes and they did like fun little special things. Right now it's just like being cycled through again because either they don't care or they're not creative enough to add like unique modes, but that's basically how you get people back into the game and how you can get people to like stay in the game.
Yeah, once people have had their fill of the game as it is, when you add these little things into the game, it gives people reasons to come back.
Overwatch server still exists, of course. No, it's Overwatch 2, by the way. But yeah, like that's just like how it works, and that's why that's kind of like why Fortnite is still the big IP that it is.
Troubled
right?
tinfoil
Through
hatter.
these collabs, through the
Wait, Troubled Tinfoil
Essential
Hatter
content.
says the gameplay of Fortnite doesn't operate with itself. It feels like an afterthought. I don't think nothing would change if weapons were taken away. It was just until it's shitty VR chat. I feel like that's an opinion that can be had by somebody who doesn't actually play the game. I'm sorry, no. Like, I don't play Fortnite because of the fun collaborations. I play it for the gameplay. The gameplay is the thing that hooked me into the game. It's the thing I enjoy about the game. It is a survival-based, Hunger Games with guns, and that is the thing about it that I truly enjoy. I don't think you take that out and suddenly it's still the same thing.
I mean, the collabs are just adding more spice to it.
Yeah, it's not changing that it's a pizza. It's just changing what flavor pizza it is.
Yeah. And, you can eat pizza every single day, but you can eat it for longer if the toppings change.
Yeah, if it's pepperoni every time, you're going to get kind of sick. But, if tomorrow you get a cheese pizza, and the day after you get a pizza that is covered with buffalo sauce and pineapples, then you get to have the most euphorically painful shit of your life.
I do like pineapples on pizza.
That's entirely fine.
Are you a hater?
I don't hate pizza with pineapple. I just don't enjoy it that much. I get a craving for it maybe once every year, and that's about it.
Why? People with autism, what are you talking about? Fair enough. But, even as someone who is on the neurodivergent side, I cannot... Okay, to be fair, I do have 3 meals that I cycle through every single time. And I could eat tuna salad every single day.
Childhood that you grew up with or are still growing up with if you're younger, and it continually strips them of their identity until nothing really exists of them. Having Vegeta moving on with those stupid dances, shooting off a gun, these things are fine if they're a one-off joke where you can laugh at it because of the juxtaposition between who he is and what he does in that joke. But when you're playing a game for hours,
that's why he hates Fortnite collabs. It's because it makes it makes the it breaks the immersion of the things that it collabs with.
I mean,
that is the criticism.
The criticism is okay, I guess, but again, when
it feels fragile. It feels so fragile.
It is kind of fragile. I don't know. I maybe it's just because I started on Fortnite well after the skins had become commonplace in Fortnite, but it just doesn't occur to me as something that breaks my time with the game.
I feel like these are the types of people who stream immersion break when they find out that Goku is voiced by a woman.
They say immersion break when they find out that a VTuber has a real face.
Yeah. I mean, now you're just ruining for everyone when you show that the anime girl is actually not an anime girl in real life, and instead a real human being.
Curry240, think about the follow. Okay, so is it weird to... It's super weird to me that 9 times out of 10, not all the time, but 9 times out of 10, people who VTube just look like everyday people. But the story that we hear about them is that they're hiding behind a cartoon because they're ugly as shit. That's my...
Unironically...
that's my story. I'm person number 10. But...
I can tell you, when I was at TwitchCon at the VTube meetup, there are so many VTubers that are incredibly attractive and gorgeous. Yeah. And it is so weird that people are still... they're also saying that every VTuber girl is actually a man with a voice changer.
I mean, if they are, so what? Who cares?
True.
Oh no, you found out you're attracted to men today. Anyway. Nami, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? Drellick says, I know 2 VTubers who are the same as their avatars. I know 2 VTubers who are the same as their avatars. Actually, no, I know more.
Tuna.
Let me see here. So, I know what Monica Cineroll looks like, and I also know what her avatar looks like, and they're pretty fucking similar. I know what Saki looks like, and I know what her avatar looks like. They're pretty fucking similar. And I
do not look like my VTuber.
Skill issue.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck are you saying? Come on.
I mean, I can look like mine if I get significantly sick enough. My skin can get this shade, probably. I can do it. All right, we don't have that much left in the Bigot video. Let's see where he goes with this.
To breaking
Oh my
the
God,
mold,
he
and then
keeps
it
going
does chip
on.
away at your perception of those characters and their archetypes. You know what else breaks immersion? Randomly placed ads, like I'm doing for my company and my business, The Dragon's Treasure.
Nope. Instead, fucking
Oh my God.
fucking AI generated bullshit.
Just hire an artist.
I am so. First of all, I have a rule. When somebody tries to advertise for their shit, I instead advertise for my shit. Cause fuck you. So instead, go to DDLG
so
Playground, use
bad.
coupon code Suris, get 20% off. 10% off, I think, actually.
Can you repeat that? Can you post that in the?
That would be me posting a sex site. Nope. I ain't doing that shit.
Okay.
Absolutely
I see. Yeah. Okay.
No. All I'm saying is this guy can go to DDLGplayground.com. He can use coupon code Suris, and he can get something good to go fuck himself with. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's shilling AI slop while complaining about other IPs. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing.
I mean, that's like the type of person on, these people are just like complaining about these things while also like, being like actively ruining the creative industry by pushing AI shit.
It's a deviation of what I've been talking about for a long time now.
Also, this guy
Things
still
need to
sponsors
be self-controlled.
pedos, and it's just dropshipping scam kind of stuff. Just a small little heads up.
Crossovers need to be rare, one-time occurrences, not the new norm. Almost nobody knows how to
Who made you the ambassador of collabs?
I actually
Who died and made you the Pope?
I actually agree with him though.
Why?
Okay, sure. I can go ahead and defend that position easily.
Go ahead.
Crossovers are fun when they introduce two different fandoms to one another, when they introduce two different areas to one another, but they are special in and of their own right. Once you start making everything a crossover, they become a lot less special. I like the universe of Batman in DC Comics. I like the universe of Superman in DC Comics. I also like the universe of Sonic the Hedgehog. I do not want several years down the line that Sonic the Hedgehog's universe and the universe of Batman and Superman simply become the same universe and become amalgamized together. Both of those universes become a lot less special and lose their identity when that is what they are all the time. However, the Sonic the Hedgehog DC Comics crossover happened this year, and that was fucking great.
Do you mean by like continuously using the same universe as a collab, or switching around?
So like, here's my example. If you have two IPs that you like, and those IPs do a crossover, hell, maybe even like a whole crossover movie, that's a really cool and fun event. But did you like those IPs because they crossed over, or did you like those IPs because of what they were prior to the crossover? You liked that they were their own IPs. If the IP continually just keeps crossing over with new things over and over and over again, you don't end up having a lot of room for that IP to be its own thing anymore.
So do you think that like something like Final Fantasy is doing itself like a disservice by continuously adding collabs?
So here's the thing. That's not Final Fantasy. That's Final Fantasy 14. It does nothing to fuck up the integrity of Final Fantasies 1 through 13, or 15, or 16, or Crystal Chronicles, or what have you. It's an MMORPG with its own contained story. Whatever it does with its own contained story is its own thing. If Final Fantasy 17 were to come out tomorrow, and every character in the game were from some other IP, I probably wouldn't give a shit about it. It doesn't ruin the integrity of a thing to have crossovers. It does ruin the integrity of a thing to be crossovers.
Yeah, but like, wait. So do you think that like Fortnite doesn't have like its own identity anymore?
Oh, it does have its own identity, but its identity has become that. So what Fortnite was when it was made was Fortnite Save the World. That died and it became effectively cartoony PUBG. Then it became cartoony PUBG with all of the collaborations. Its identity has become the collaborations. Its own identity is that. Whenever somebody says the Fortniteification of a game, do they mean the game became PUBG? Do they mean the game became a shooter? Or do they mean the game became a constant stream of collaborations? That phrase only has a meaning because the current identity of Fortnite is the collaborations.
So you think that like Magic the Gathering is doing itself a disservice by adding more collabs?
Honest question, Nyara. Do I have to repeat the words I said earlier today? Or like, because I think I actually made this one fairly clear earlier. I don't like it.
You said you don't like it.
I don't like universes beyond being in Magic. But since we have it in Magic, it's an opportunity to bring more people into the game and have more fun. I prefer the game without it.
Okay, I get what you mean.
Yeah, like I do prefer the game without it, but I think that worlds are special because of the stories that are created in those worlds and the memories we have within those worlds. If everything, instead of becoming a story with depth and characters and nuance, if everything becomes, here's a flanderized version of my character for brand recognition, let me throw that into some other universe, and then almost every story becomes that. At a certain point, you don't have those universes to enjoy anymore. Those universes have become whatever a corporation has decided they need to collaborate with to make money. Like, I like, as an example, I like the crossover that happened with Sonic and DC Comics. The crossover is fun to me because it showcases some aspects of the characters that fans of both properties enjoy. There's a moment where Shadow the Hedgehog tries to ignore Superman's advice and walk away from the group. Batman walks over to him and just says, "So who was it?" Shadow looks up and goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." And Batman goes, Batman goes, "Who was the person who you were supposed to protect, who you couldn't, and died?" And Shadow just like has a moment of, what the hell are you talking about? How do you know? And Batman tells him, "Hey, this is what happened with my parents. I was a kid. I couldn't stop it. It's haunted me my entire life." And Shadow opens up to Batman because now he's a kindred soul. Goes, "You know what? Mine was Maria. She put me in a tube effectively and shot me away from the space colony that I grew up in while the US government came and shot her to death in front of me. I didn't get a chance to do anything about that, and it ruined me for years." I like that those two characters got to have that moment together, but they only got to have that moment together because Shadow had a story in Sonic Adventure 2 and in Shadow the Hedgehog where we got to explore his character enough to know that was an aspect of who he was. And Batman only has that aspect of his character because he had his own stories, albeit told repetitively, but he has his own stories where that story is shown to us. That character growth for him is shown to us. If we only ever have collaborations, then all we have is characters referencing back onto these past aspects of themselves and saying, "Look at this thing I did that everybody remembers." When all of media becomes that, then we just have flanderized characters. We don't have stories with nuance anymore. We have stories with cardboard cutouts of characters saying, "Look at me, I'm here, buy my shit."
Okay, I get it. Yeah, no, I understand your point now.
Like,
it's basically, I guess it's kind of like what ruined, like what made Call of Duty like a little bit silly when they were like acquired by Blizzard and they put like Diablo characters like Lilith in there with like a gun, and it's just like, it feels kind of like silly to add like the characters to it, but then it's also like, this is just like Warzone that nobody actually like cares about, you know?
Yeah, like
cares about it.
People who like Overwatch generally really like the Overwatch characters. Would they like Overwatch as much if Overwatch was just other Blizzard characters instead?
I mean, that could be like, if it's done well, that could be fun, because then it's basically like Smash Bros.
Yeah, then it's like Smash Brothers. It's a game that's built on that. It was Heroes of the Storm did that. Heroes of the Storm was Blizzard IPs in a MOBA. So you had characters from Diablo and StarCraft and Warcraft all together in a map. The identity of that game was it was a MOBA Smash Brothers for Blizzard. It can work. There's nothing saying that it can't work. The part with this person that I agree with, because I never want to be that person who idiotically says that person B is wrong because I don't like person B, and I just find a way to be against whatever they say, even if they're making a point that I agree with. I feel like that's disingenuous, and it's really easy for me to fall into that.
Valid. Yeah.
The point about
some people make it really difficult to be genuine and engage in good faith.
Some people do, but I think we lose a part of ourselves. Oh, and then we just lost Nyara.
He disappeared? Yeah.
Yep.
I'll come back.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Cool.
Boblogs, thank you for the follow.
I feel like we definitely lose a part of ourselves if we let ourselves fall into that trap.
Yeah.
Like if JD Vance says the sky is blue tomorrow, I'm not gonna just like start going, no, it's not, because I may look out to I may look outside to verify though. Like just to be safe. But the point that he has that I do agree with is that endless collabing does rob a property of its internal identity, especially when that property shows how good its internal identity can be. But I think that his blame is misplaced. What he's doing is he's gatekeeping. He's throwing the blame at the fans. He's going, it's your fault. It's all of your fault for liking the thing. I think that's stupid. I think instead you need to look at the system that is incentivizing this. And at that point, your problem is capitalism, not your fellow workers.
Do multiverses or infinite possibilities, and they inevitably screw it up. Hey, what if we put this character in a situation they'd never be in and make them act differently? Those were supposed to be just some random what-if scenarios, but now it seems like whole industries are built around it. Even characters in which the whole thing is showing up in different timelines of realities, like Bugs Bunny and the old Looney Tunes cast, they still remained an established character within those episodes. They kept an identity. I'm tangenting a bit too much, let's get back on the main track. All these stories and these characters have a certain core identity, something that makes them who they are. Even if they encompass a wider archetype, you can still easily identify the differences between Gandalf, Dumbledore, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So like at this point, I do agree with this point. I think my greater problem is that the aim gets thrown at the people who enjoy something, which is just plain stupid.
Even if their core archetypes are fundamentally the same. But if any of them began to take up the mannerisms of the others, you'd be able to tell, and it would feel off. There's no overlap between The Walking Dead and Lord of the Rings, and there's no overlap between those two shows and Spider-Man. And
wait. No, there is overlap between Walking Dead and Lord of the Rings. Zombies. The overlaps between Walking Dead and Lord of the Rings are zombies. And how different people around you, who you otherwise trusted, if they trust in power more than they trust in you, they will either fail you or betray you. That is the story of Saruman in Lord of the Rings, and that is the story of Shane, and ultimately Negan in Walking Dead. They said, what are zombies in Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings does have undead.
I'm back.
Like, Lord of the Rings has undead. So there are crossovers between Walking Dead and Lord of the Rings.
Between The Walking Dead and Lord of the Rings, and there's no overlap between those two shows and Spider-Man. And yet, you're now going to put those three, along with several other story structures, in a completely different and separate story structure, and just hope that they will all somehow work together. It only works together for Simpleton.
No. So that's the thing, my guy. Did you not realize those things don't actually have to work within the story structure of any of this? Because none of those things at all infringe on Magic Story. Magic Story does not encompass any of that. The latest canon events that we have in Magic Story are Tezzeret's shit in Edge of Eternities. Before that, it was the return of Nicol Bolas during the Dragonstorm event. Before that, Final Fantasy was a thing, and Final Fantasy story didn't come into Magic. The Spider-Man story is happening, or the Spider-Man shit came in after Edge of Eternities, but Spider-Man is not our most recent canon event. Jesus. Jasta says, there's no Spoderman Magic story, there is only Fleen. Drelix says his examples and presentation is missing the mark and is poorly constructed. That's kind of my problem. We're like, The dude wants to blame fans. That's not where to aim the blame. The dude wants to say it infringes on Magic Story, but Magic Story is unaffected by the IP crossovers. It feels like he has an opinion about something because people in his circles want him to have an opinion about it, but that opinion, it doesn't seem super genuine. Like, it really does not seem the most genuine.
I feel like it's the same level as like blaming consumers for companies pushing like microtransactions.
Yeah.
And then blaming shitty games, like AAA games being shitty and buggy on like, I don't know, deaths with pronouns and stuff. It's so weird.
I think we're done with the Bigot video. I don't think there's anything else of worth in here.
Thank God.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Limor Pinku, Love Bunny Games, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Aurora, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it. Just a little bit.